So here we are in the book Jewish Astrology, a Cosmic Science, of Yaakov Kronenberg, Jewish Kabbalist and astrologer. Now, we're going to start getting into a little bit more serious stuff, so let's see what we have to say here. Now, we're about down at the bottom of this page 71, and it says, he says, though, when you look at old astrology books, like ancient Greek, Roman, and Middle Age books, you see they looked at the Earth as the basic model, with all planets and stars surrounding it. So this is the model that existed. The moon above the Earth, and then Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. They were all surrounding Earth as according to those books. We will talk about why they didn't mention the modern planets, and that maybe they knew about them but didn't want to mention them. This is for another lesson. He says we can go into that. In other words, we have 7 planets, basically, and then the Earth. So he said they held that each planet was going around along its sphere, or orbit. Each sphere, but we'll use his words, each sphere was one above the other, and the bigger than the other, and one bigger than the other. So in other words, they surrounded each other. Above these 7 spheres, and we're about to see something about this, was an 8th sphere, which was the sphere of the fixed stars. So in other words, you had the planets. Then up above that, you have the constellations, he says the fixed stars. Above that, there was another sphere, which is the 9th, which the Jews called the Galgal Hayoni. That is the Galgal, that is the daily sphere, for it actually did a complete cycle around the Earth in one day. It was also called the blank sphere, because there was nothing the eye could see in it, and it was also called the white sphere. In other words, there's nothing there. It's like a sphere of nothingness. Now he says that beyond that sphere, there is a 10th sphere above it called the Galgal Seichel, the sphere of intelligence, where everything emanates from there. We will talk, he says, in a moment, about all the Galgalim and what they were, but I think that the subsystem was taken by the Greeks from the Jewish model, and it became the Greco-Roman system. It also went before that to India via Abraham's children, because of tradition that his second wife was Hagar, who were sent to the east with gifts, and these gifts are the intellect of the Kabbalah and the astrology that Abraham knew. This to them was basically the universe. But what was missing? So what was missing here? In other words, here to the Earth, and then the planets going upwards, and then they have more, and beyond. But what's missing here? What's the difference between that and the full Jewish model of creation? He says is much bigger than the sub-model of the solar system, and with many more dimensions. In it, there are 5 worlds with multiple dimensions. Now, what does he say? This is the Jewish view, which is also the view of Kabbalah. First, there is the world of Asiya, which is the world of action and doing. This is the world in which we live. It is the lowest world which we physically inhabit. Above that is the world of Yetzirah, which is also known as Yetzirah means the world of formation. Above that is the world of Bria, which is the world of creation. And above that is the world of Atzilut, or Atzilus. There's a little bit misspelling here. There should be a lama there, L. World of emanation. Above that, there are more models such as Olam Adam Kadmon, HaKadmon, and this is straight Kabbalah here. As beginning the formation of the model, it's like a template of creation. The world of Adam, the first man. It's also called primordial man in other places. And then above that, Olam Ha'Ein Sof is the world of the endless, unknowable world. The whole solar system of the planets and stars of our galaxy is in the world of Asiya. So all that we're talking about here, the sun and the moon and the planets and the stars, including the earth, is all part of the Olam Asiya. It's the physical representation that we see, which is the lowest world, closest to us. This world of Asiya is divided into 2 parts. There's the earth and there's heaven. But the earth and heaven are divided into 7 parts, into 7 pieces. The 7 parts of heaven in the world of Asiya are called in Kabbalah the 7 Heichelos, or the 7 palaces. I would like to talk about these 7 Heichelos palaces in the next chapter. You will see that The first palace in heaven, in the world of Asiya, is called Vilon, which means like a curtain, and so on and so forth. And we'll get to those names. He's going to bring them. So now he shows us, and the question is how do we look at this? How do we read this? So there's two ways to read this, what we're looking at right now. We could look at from the bottom to the top, or we could look at from the top to the bottom. So mostly because we live in the Olam Asiya according to the Jewish tradition, so this is the world of action, so therefore we start at the bottom. And so therefore we understand that all of our prayers and everything that we learn, all the Torah that we learn is starting at the bottom. That's where we are. And it says the first word, these are the seven heavens. And one is called the Vilon, which are called the curtain. And then there's a Rikia. So exactly shot in what the simple meaning of this would be. In other words, explain it better, I don't know. The next part is called the Rikia, which is the firmament, which is up above this, which includes all the fixed stars and planets. They're here. He says then the next one is shchokim, which is, he's going to say later, is the word of grinding. I don't know exactly what that means either. Then there's another one, the fourth one going upwards is called zavul. Then the fifth one is called machon. Ma'un, and the sixth one is called maun. And the seventh one is kar aravot. Now these are seven heavens, meaning they're above us in some way. And this is what our Torah tells us. But after those seven heavens, you're actually moving up into a different world altogether. This is the world of formation, called Yetzirah. And then after that, you're moving up to the world of creation. After that, you're moving up to the world of emanation, which is Adam, emanation, which is Atzilus. And then finally, to the first man, or primordial man, which means the primordial is more the concept of it as a template for all worlds that will come after that. It's called Adam Kadmon. Then after that, beyond that, we have no words, but we just call it endlessness, or the Ein Sof, there is no end. That is the world of the Ein Sof. Now, he says like this, and this is like lots and lots of really wonderful information. Let us talk about the basic difference between Western and Jewish astrology. The Talmud is the primary source of the subject of Heichelos and palaces. My source for this is the Trial Talmud, and he finds it in the Tractates Chagiga 12b. I have heard that today there are good translations in English to the Talmud. So the Talmud Chagiga, Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yossi discuss the world of Asiya. Over there, they're discussing our world and the heavens above us, and mentioned that there is the earth and the heavens are divided into seven. It says, this is the Gemara over there. It's divided into seven palaces, which are Vilon, which is the curtain, Rikia, which is the firmament, Shchokim, which is ground up. I'm not sure what that means. Zavul, which is a palace, or something majestic. Explanation of the meaning of all these seven palaces. So he said, I'm sorry, Skip. So he said the next one is Maun, Machon, which is the dwelling places, and then there's a Rivos, which is the cloud. The Talmud continues with the explanation of the meaning to all of these seven palaces, but we are just going to see the meaning of the second one. That's the one called Rikia. Because in the Rikia, that's where you find the planets. That's our business here. The first planet is called Vilon, like a curtain. It is not for anything except going in there every morning and out every evening and renewing the creation. So let's say, what does this Vilun do? It has only one function. I guess the way I would say it. So that every morning it goes in, and every evening it goes back. Now he says the second palace is called the Rikia, which consists of the sun, the moon, the planets, the fixed stars, the ninth and 10th sphere, which we had talked about within it. So you see that in Judaism, all planets and stars are in a subsection of the world of Asiya, which is a subsection of the five worlds above that palace of Rikia. There are five more palaces. So if you look at it and you see what he's trying to say, let me see if he say it a little bit. He said the subsection of the five worlds. So five worlds are I guess he says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess he says subsection of what's up above. Above that palace of Rikia, there are five more palaces. And even higher than that, there is then the beginning of the world of Yetzirah, which is beyond our ken, the world of angels. And then the world of Bria. Then there's the world of Bria, which is the world of creation out of nothing. And then the world of Atzilut, the world of unity, where the level of spirituality is very high. Also called Elokut Gavoa. It's also called the upper Elokut, godliness, Adam Kadmon, and then the endless world. So this is a Jewish model, and this is Baruch Fleischman. We've been listening to Reb Yaakov Kronenberg.